solution to housing and transportation for the student, creation of student jobs and internship, enhance diversity and inclusion, increase student learning experience, enrich the campus and social life. Both Peter and I have been good friends over the last year. We both believe our friendship can birth a new and better student union that advocates for all. We will make sure that we both can make a difference and impact on student union and student body. Our approach to ensuring we engage students will immediately helpful and effective. Thank you.
Okay, then we will move on to opening remarks from Slate 1. That's Kalyan Ramesh and Champanur Skaria Sajin. I think you may be muted.
Hi guys, I'm Kalyan. I'm studying supply chain management at Cape Breton University. I'm in my second semester, and my friend Sajin, Champanur Sakaria Sajin, is there, and he's also studying for supply chain management at CBU, and he's also in his second semester. My hobbies are I'm a writer. I write books. I have published several books in India, and I have been in campus politics back in India during my college days. Same in the case of Sajjan. He was a member of some political parties back in India, and he was also very involved in so many political and social activities back in India. And me too. Like I was involved in charitable societies and charitable works back in India, in my state during my college times. And we are here. I know the main reason we are here, contesting for this election because of the hardships that we faced when we came to Sydney in the initial days as well as now. Like the main reason that forced me, especially, to contest this election is because of the transport issues that I faced personally when I, tried to go to CBU from Glace Bay, and it was in December, and I was not, there wasn't a best shelter at some places in Glace Bay, and there was not enough buses to reach CBU. So these all issues, forced me personally to conduct this election. But we focus our attention to so many issues that students faces at CBU, mainly the high amount of fees that international students pay at CBU. That's a major thing that we focus on. If we come into power as Students Union, we will be decreasing, we will be giving proposal to the CBU management for decreasing the students' fees of the international students as well as the Canadian ones. We like at CBU, we are having minimal amount of in-campus placement right now. So we are planning to invite, we are planning to see so many HR, professionals at different companies, and we are planning to invite them to our university and to increase the scale of the in-campus placement at our university, so that our students can leave our campus with a happy face after getting a job. And the other main thing that we're going to focus is hiring of de-addiction professionals. Like, as you all know, that we have counseling centers at CBU, but in our opinion, that's not enough. That nowadays students are, indulging in, drug related, having drugs and so many other mental problems they are having. So the normal counselors can't solve those problems. Only the addiction workers who have the diploma in addiction, curing the addiction, must be hired for these counseling services. Not a regular counseling person, must be assigned. So they are not apt for the job completely. So that's our another focus. And the other thing we are going to focus is like housing issues. That if we come into power as Students Union, we are going to set up a complete separate of fees for housing related issue. We are going to contact the Investment Property Association of the Cape Breton Island, and we are going to engage in an agreement with them. We are planning to do that. And if there is any vacancy in their houses, their investment properties, they are going to inform us. And we will be able to know the vacancies of the vacant houses in Cape Breton, and we will be allocating the students to that properties on the first come first serve basis. So the students will be able to get accommodation as in a fraction of a second if there is any availability. So the another thing that we are going to focus, the last thing in our manifesto is that the jobs. It's really difficult for an international student.
Okay, Kalyan, it has been the time limit now, so I'll throw that back to Todd now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was slate 1. We'll now move on to slate 2, Avikalp Chaudhary and Rahul Luthra.
Hey everyone, thanks for giving this opportunity to me. My name is Avikalp Chaudhary and I'm basically from Haryana, India. I came to Canada in May 2021. Before starting with the whole debate process, I would like to acknowledge that our Cape Breton University is based on is located on Mi'kma'ki. It's unceded and ancestral territory of Mi'kmaq people. Moving ahead, I would like to tell you about my previous jobs. I've worked as social media developer in CBU's MBA department, and currently I'm playing as the role of president in Road Track Club, and I'm also a member of CBU Student Judicial Board. I'm running in student elections because I think that I have the right motivation and right skill set to represent all the students and do this job. And I really want to make a difference. I would like to pass on the mic to my running mate, Rahul.
Hi, everyone. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone who's here today. My name is Rahul, and I'm a third-year BACS PBA student here at CBU. I moved to Canada in May 2019, and since then, I've worked with the Student Affairs Department here at CBU. With my job experience, I've been able to build various connections around the island and a very professional repertoire. I feel I would be a very deserving candidate if I do end up winning the election, and that I can really make a difference. Thank you.
Okay, and then our final slate tonight is slate 3, Mohammed Kamrul Hassan Kafi and MD Kaiser Alam.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to thank CBU Students Union for giving me the chance to share my views with you guys. Hi, I'm Kafi. I'm a presidential candidate of this election, and I'm teaming up with Kaiser, who is also a ex-vice presidential candidate for this election. Currently, both of us are first years post-bac students studying in business analytics. We are standing for this election to only represent every student of CBU. CBU is a great place for any student. I feel privileged to be the part of this society, but still some of the students are facing a lot of problems in their daily campus life. Students Union and the university administrations are trying their best to eliminate those, and I admire them, but I believe that I have right views and proper vision to improve more. I believe that we share similar views and a similar vision to represent all the students of CBU. And if we are elected, we want to work on increasing student engagement in university. We'll try to increase more reach out to the students to know and represent their actual problem and ideas. We want to work on improving their mental health, making greater student connections among the students. And we have a lot of views, and we have a lot of plans to improve improving our promotions towards them. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to thank all of the candidates for their opening remarks. We will now have questions for the candidates. The questions have been pre-selected and I have them here. The first question is from the current president to each of the slates, and it is as follows. What is the first thing you will address after getting elected? And do you think that that issue was addressed in the previous term? So what was the first thing you will address after getting elected? And do you think that that issue was addressed in the previous term?
Hi, Todd. Sorry, I'm just going to intervene right quick.
Sure.
That's just a little mistake. This is actually not from the current president. This is just from the student body.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank
Sorry
you for
about
that. Thank you for that clarification. But the question stands, and in this case, the answers will go in numerical order. So the first opportunity to answer will be Kalyan Ramesh and Chamanpur Skaria, slate 1. Kalyan, again, I think you might be muted.
Thank you, sir. The main issue that we are going to address when we into power student union is that the transportation issues. The reason why I said is that the experience that we had when we came to Sydney to study at CBU, the transportation is really poor. Like students are even waiting for 1 hour at the bus stops, even in winter times, to get to classes. So if a person failed to board a bus at a particular point in time, then he has to wait for another hour to get that bus. By that time the class will be over. So almost over. So that kind of situation must be avoided. And if you ask me that previous president has solved this issue, I may say that not to that level that we expect from the students' point of view. As I know, I asked my...
I have to cut you off now because you reached your 1 minute time limit.
Thank you.
We'll proceed to slate 2, Avakib Chaudhry and Rahul Luthra. Again, what is the first thing you will address after getting elected? Do you think that issue was addressed in the previous term?
So according to me, there's being an international student, I would like to say that I would like to add more on arrival services, like when international students come to airport all the way back from their country. When they come back, come to Canada, they don't have enough resources to settle down. At that point of time, we as international students need the actual help. Like we need the basic transportation, we need the airport pickup, and I would like to acknowledge all these things initially, right after getting the thing. I would like to pass to Rahul.
I would like to add that I've been here for 3 years now, and the pre-arrival services that students do receive, they are very limited. If someone who's back, basically about international students, if someone's back in their country, the only person that can email is the International Student Center here at CBU, which is not very fast at responding. So our plan is to create a new portal, create a specific email on which international students could send their inquiries and have a timely response. Thank you.
We'll move on to slate 3, Mohammed Kamrul Hassan Kafi and MD Kaiser Alam. Once again, what is the first thing you will address after being elected? And do you think the issue was addressed in the previous term?
What we are gonna address first, it was discussed and it was came up with a previous elected person. That is that our utmost priority is to reach out every students to CBU to increase the students' engagement in our university, and making them realize their belonging in every event. There are lots of events. I would say that there are lots of great events are happening in our university, but I think most of the students are not attending this university events, and they are not feeling well because we are at the stage of our age that we think our potentiality and our productivity beside our fun and recreational activities. That's what I want to work on. Thank you.
The final slate answering this question, slate 4, Damanpreet Singh and Peter Abadayo Oyadiho. That's one more time, the first thing you will address, and was it addressed in the previous term?
Thank you very much, Todd, for that question. One of the very few things, or the key things we'll address if elected, if Gaman and I are elected, are OERs. And for anyone here who doesn't know the meaning of OERs, are open educational resources. I would like to recognize the work and the efforts this present executive team has put in into pushing OERs. They've done a lot, and just last 2 weeks there was Open Educational Resource Week. We would ensure we continue to advocate for OERs, Open Educational Resources, for all courses in CBU, and we'll enable us to do this by meeting with the Vice President of Academics, that's Dr. Richard McKinnon, and also members of faculty and even the President. This is a resource that gives ability to students, it gives the resources to students to be able to access courses without paying extravagant amounts on those courses. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and thanks to all the candidates for their answers to that question. I just want to get a little clarification from Bridget, if I may. My schedule says there's a chance to follow up for all candidates, but then based on the time, it seems like we're moving on to question 2. Is there a chance for candidates to respond, or are we moving on to the next question?
Sorry, Todd. Yeah, each candidate can have 1 minute to follow up on that question.
Okay, so then maybe we'll go in the same order then. Kalyan and Champanur, slate 1. Do you have any follow-up?
Yes, like I have to continue from where I stopped. Like the thing is that the previous president has not done enough to improve the transportation to the CBU. Because the transportation issue has been here still since 2018. Like we have introduced 2 new buses in 2018. From that period onwards, we have not yet introduced any new buses to CBU. So at that time, the Students' Union had a protest and they introduced 2 new. From that time onwards, we are not involving in these kind of things that we need to concentrate on. Thank you.
And follow up from slate 2, Avikalp and Rahul.
I would like to add onto what I said before. So previously,
Looks like my running mate has lost the connection. I would like to take the lead from here. Previously, I've talked about the honorable things, and what I want to say follow up is that like what we need at the right point of time is that there should be a person present when a person arrives back from their country. There should be someone to help them with the basic housing for the initial days, and there should be someone to drop them at their place. So that's what I want to initiate. Thank you so much. Would like to move ahead.
Great, and thank you for that follow-up answer from slate 3, Mohammed and MD Kaiser.
I would like to say that student union is a place where, as a president, I can represent all of the students and their problems to our university's administration. Some of the things are out of our hand, but what we can do is to listen to you guys properly and to let know our administration that you are facing those problems, your ideas. And what I feel that there are all possible solutions if we can go ahead, move forward by a systematical way, thinking all the consequences and all the results. And I think we are coming up with better ideas to to come up with every solution of the problem. Thank you.
And finally, follow up from slate 4, Damanpreet and Peter.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Todd. So yeah, like I said, when you begin to speak with students, one of the most things that come to play is the ridiculous amounts students spend on textbooks, and this is the main reason why we're going to be pushing OERs, not for only business students, but for students studying other courses, engineering courses, medicine or nursing, and ensure that everyone has an access to an open educational resource where, as students, we don't have to pay so much for textbooks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for those follow-up answers. We'll move on now to question 2. This is another pre-selected student question from CBU students, and it reads as follows. What will you do for students' benefits? Many students are still struggling for jobs. So the question is asking, how will you benefit students in general, and then particularly in the context of jobs? A lot to cover in 1 minute. We'll start with slate 2, Avakip and Rahul.
As I said before, I've been here for 3 years and I've worked with the Student Affairs Department. What I've basically done is I help students get employment around the island. In the last 3 years, I've helped over 140 students get jobs. We all know that Cape Britain's economy, it works around tourism. And it's hard to find a job here in the winter months because, I mean, the place is not very pleasant, but like when summer comes, it's beautiful and everything's open and there's a lot of jobs. So basically our idea is to, like, we've been seeing development in Cape Breton. There's more restaurants, there's more resorts that are open. Cape Smoking in Ingonish, that's open now in the winter. Celtic Lodge in Ingonish, that's open now in the winter. That's happened for the first time ever. So like there's development happening. Obviously we can't like increase the number of jobs. We can work on it. We can negotiate with the government, but
I'm sorry,
sure.
but your time is up.
Okay, we'll move on to slate 3, Mohammed and MD Kaiser. What will you do for students' benefits? Many students are still struggling for jobs.
It is our main concern to increase the student job possibilities and opportunities in our university campus. What I think is university is an excellent place for students to acquire correct and proper skill set for their career. And I believe that there are lots of events we are organizing, but I think there are more rooms to organize more career potential events to increase awareness among the students. For example, I am talking about there is a coder society in our university, but it really hurts to me when I see that the 15 members of this society, even most of the people don't know about this society. And coding is a very important skill in present life. If students acquire this, I think they can earn money from their home and remotely by very easy process. So I think I want to work on increasing opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to slate 4, Damanpreet and Peter. What will you do for student benefits? And many students are still struggling for jobs.
Thank you for your question. To enable provide more jobs and internship for students during the first week of office, we will be reaching out to professionals from all walks of life, including alumni of Cape Breton University, to help train our students and help with their resume and CV seminars. We will also work with the university administration to ensure the internship are in place of all courses, not only for the business or education students. We will also ensure that every student of CBU, regardless of their field of study, has access to internship and co-op placements. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll finish up with slate 1, Kalyan and Champagnur. One more time, what will you do for students' benefits? Many students still struggling for jobs.
We have so many plans in our pipeline to, for the student benefit. But the main thing that, since you talked about the jobs, we are going to give our opinion about the jobs. So we have so many plans about the jobs. The main thing is that we are going to engage in an agreement with most of the employers. We'll try to engage in most of the employers in Cape Breton to recruit a proportionate students from CBU as their employees. Like they have to recruit the employees from outside also, but recruiting like substantial amount from CBU decreases the mental stress of students of finding their jobs. So that's the main thing that we got getting into an agreement with the employer in Sydney, in Cape Breton as a whole.
I just want to add one more thing to this. The problem of job is mainly faced by students who are new in here. So as student union, we would get in touch with all the local employers.
Sorry, but you guys' time is up now.
Get that too.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And I do appreciate everyone's patience. I know it's hard to fit in everything you want to say within the time limit, but of course we have to keep everybody to the predetermined times. We now have a few minutes for follow-up, and again we'll go in the same order as candidates answered. So that means back to slate 2, Avalkeep and Raul. Do you have any follow-up?
Yes, I would like to add that our idea is to bring in employers and have them teach students what they need to do to get a job. We want to have more resume building sessions, more sessions which teach students how to be professional, how to suit yourself to get a job. Like currently, a lot of students, they struggle to get co-ops, and it basically happens because they don't have the correct resume, they don't have the necessary skills to get those jobs. So we really want to train each and every student and help them have those skills. Thank you.
Thank you. Follow up from slate 3, Mohammed and MD Kaiser.
As our fellow candidate Rahul mentioned that he wants to work on improving resumes and cover letters, I think CBU is also doing great effort to improve our resume building, skills. And I also want to give effort on that. But I think I want to improvise, and I want to increase a job opportunity in our university so that our student can have more jobs on campus beside the studying. And I think there are lots of opportunities and there are more rooms to grow. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now looking for additional follow-up from slate 4, Damanpreet and Peter.
Thank you very much. Like most people have said, we as Damanpreet and Peter would, as a team, would be working to partner with most employers in Cape Breton. This partnership would lead to an agreement where each employer tends to employ at least one CBU student. That way, it lessens the burden of job search, and then that way, at least one CBU student gets to earn a job. We would also be creating a new job search term, like a search team specifically created to ease up job search for CBU students. And we would also be working with CBU, the management of Cape Breton University, to create on-campus jobs for all students. That way, we're all working at sync, and we're all working towards the direction of creating more jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, a chance for follow-up from Kalyan and Champanuar.
I just want to add that when we are talking about job issues, the students who are new in here are the ones who face this issue the most. So as a student union, we can get in touch with the local employers over here, and we can provide the vacancy updates to the students who are new in here. So that would be a great help to them, as they don't have much contacts unlike the other students who are in here earlier. So this would act as a great help for them. And also after completion of a course, here the on-campus placement are there, but it's not to a big extent, to a substantial extent. So what we can do is we can have employers from all other province, and we can add more employers to our campus, so that's while after the graduation, students can find a job easily with this recruiters. So we would be doing this if you are getting into power. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will now move on to question 3, again from CBU students. What approach will you take to working with CBU administration to ensure the relationship is professional and benefits the student body? Once again, what approach will you take to working with CBU administration to ensure the relationship is professional and benefits the student body? We'll start with slate 3, Mohammed and MD Kaiser.
Thank you for giving me the chance to start my speech first. Uh, our utmost priority is to represent students to the university governors and the administration. And as I have researched about my job responsibilities and the responsibilities of a CBU students president, I believe that we have to come up with a proper roadmap or efficient roadmap to represent our needs, our ideas in front of our university's administration. So that's what I can do. And I think the best way to do that is to interact with students more personally and to know about their problems, come up with a better idea so that the administration get to know that yes, it is needed, and they will support us to make the changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is slate 4, Damanpreet and Peter. Once again, what approach will you take to working with CBU administration to ensure the relationship is professional and benefits the student body?
Thank you very much, Todd, for that question. The approach we will be having as a slate, if elected, will be an approach that is very friendly, very professional, and very welcoming. Welcoming in the sense that we will be ensuring that everything we'll be working with the university is something that is in the best interest of students, something that advocates and puts students first in everything we do. So yeah, we're going to be very strategic in our relationship with the university. We would ensure that in every of our actions, in every of our plans, we do not do anything that ruins or that jeopardizes the relationship we have with the university. Because I'm of the opinion that the relationship we have with the university is very important towards the success of our administration or of our executive team. So therefore, we'll be having a relationship that is very strategic and very beneficial and friendly. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, slate 1, Kalyan and Champanur. Once again, what approach will you take to working with the administration, ensuring the relationship is professional and benefits students?
Thank you, sir. So for this, I have only one answer for this question. Transparency. So the main thing that we're going to focus is on transparency. So increase our professionalism to a high regard. The main thing that we need to have is transparency. So we need to answer the following questions like what, when, who, and where. Like if we take a decision, that must be published, that must be known to all the and all the students at CBU. So that's the main thing that we're going to focus on to improve our integrity. So, if we stick on to that, the professionalism will come into our way. Thank you.
Thank you. And one more, slate 2, Avikal and Rahul. What approach will you take to working with the administration and ensuring the relationship is professional and benefits students?
I would like to mention that me and Rahul both have worked with CBU's administration before. I have worked in MBA department, and Rahul has worked with in community acknowledgement development program and student affairs already since last 3 years. So we have built a very good relations previously, and we are going to make very good relations afterwards as well. Though as we're going to represent the student body, so we will stand for students, for student interest wherever it will be needed. And if I talk about what Kalyan just said, according to me, transparency is not the thing which will make any good contact with administration. Thank you.
Okay, thanks once again to all the slates. Once again, we have a chance for follow-up. So we'll go back to the top of the order. Slate 3, Mohammed MD Kaiser for follow-up.
I would like to say that mention that this job requires keeping balance between the relationship with the students and the university administration. So I think as a representative, we should come up with more rational ideas to know better what students are facing the problems, and come up a very systematic and a very efficient way so that we can represent it to our university's administration, so that we can explain them all the consequences and their benefits, so that they can be more understanding, and they agreed us to apply those changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Follow up from Slate 4, Damanpreet and Peter.
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, I said relationships are very important, and considering the fact that we're a student union, we do need a professional and also a friendly relationship with the university. So as such, we would ensure that everything we're doing is at the interest of students. Also, we would make sure that we're not, on the other hand, affecting or trying to decline the request of the university. So we'll be working to ensure that we represent students, stand by students in every of our actions, and while also maintaining a cordial and a friendly relationship with the university.
Thank you. Follow up from Slate 1, Kalyan and Champanur.
Thank you, sir. I would like to reply to Team Rahul, what I said earlier, transparency. So the transparency is the main and one and only thing that we need to focus on to improve our professionalism. Like as I'm a professional, I have a CA background, and the first thing that we learn in our CA studies is professionalism. The way through professionalism is transparency and integrity. So in order to build a relationship with the students and the staff at CBU, the first and foremost thing that we need to have is transparency. Thank you.
Thank you. And final chance for follow-up, Avalkeep and Raul.
I would like to add to what Avikal said before. We would support the CBU administration in what they want and what they think is good for the students. At the same time, we will put forward our ideas and collaborate with them to do what they think and what we think is the best for the students. Abhi and we've been working at CBU and have great relations within the Student Affairs Department, the Recreation Department, the President's Office, and even the Placement Cell. I am sure they would like to work with us, and we are a very approachable slate, no matter what background a student is from or the staff is from. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone for that. We'll now move to questions for specific slates. And if I'm reading this right, candidates have had a chance to submit questions for other slates of candidates. In some cases, there was not a specific question submitted, so a question has been provided. So here's a question for Slate 1. How do you plan to address transportation issues for students within the CBRM?
Yes, thank you for the question, sir. So the transportation issue is main that we, international students face here at Sydney and the Cape Breton as a whole. So we are planning to contact the CBRM as a Cape Breton Transit, and we have read their budget, and they have sufficient allocation to the buying of buses in their budget. So we are planning to contact them after getting into power and giving them a proposal to buy mini buses between the timing of the regular bus timings. So we can reduce the timing from half an hour to 5 or 10 minutes. So the mini buses, they don't have to take so many students. So like in between, they can take 5 or 10 students, and it will be very cost efficient for them too. So that's a proposal that we are planning to give to CBR, the Cape Breton Transit and CBRM, and to the MP as well. So if MP is kind, we will be allocated with the sufficient amount to buy buses. Even Cape Breton Transit is alone have the sufficient budget to buy mini buses, or even they have buses of miniature in size. I mean, compared to the big ones, like of no use at the station. So we're gonna use that. So that's our proposal, and we're going to do that if we get into power. Thank you.
Okay, the next question, it says it says to Slate 1, but it also says to Damon and Peter. So I think it probably is meant for Damon, Preet, and Peter. We have seen that you claim yourselves as the best among all the candidates. It is your slogan. In what way do you describe yourself as the best? What changes and approaches are you planning to bring that make you feel that you are better than other candidates?
Thank you very much for that question. Yeah, why we say we're the best, I believe because we do have some ideas and visions that are best for students, and that's the main reason why we call ourselves the best. Ideas and visions. That's the what are the ideas and visions. Ideas and visions that will help bring solutions, long-lasting solutions to housing and transportation, long-lasting solutions to long-lasting solutions to jobs and internships for students, because this has been some of the issues of students. Jobs, long-lasting solutions that would help create a more diverse and inclusive campus. A solution to also that would help enrich student campus life and student learning experience. Some of these things are the issues why we said we're the best. We do not also believe the other teams do not have this, but we believe we are the ones in the best position to bring solutions to this, and that's why we call ourselves the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is for Avikalp and Rahul, Slate 2. We are on the ancestral grounds of Unamagi. If elected, what are your plans that help address the issues and struggles faced by Indigenous people? Also, with the rising population of international students, have you got any plans to help international students familiarize themselves with the fact that we live on ancestral ground?
Cape Breton University. Cape Breton University is situated on the land of the Mi'kmaq. It is only ideal that the Indigenous community gets better representation. It is our responsibility to consult and work closely with the Indigenous communities. This is the unceded territory of Mi'kmaq people. Therefore, we should withhold our obligation and responsibility to strengthen this strong treaty relationship. We would increase the role of the Indigenous student liaison officer and the Indigenous liaison office. We would advocate for more representation of the Indigenous community on the Student Representative Council and other representative bodies. We would also consult with various Indigenous communities in and around Cape Breton Island and take in their opinion on how we can improve their representation. About international students getting to learn more about Indigenous communities, we have plans to better market the Unamaki College here at CBU. We have plans to conduct more events that tell people, that educate people about the Indigenous culture of the Mi'kmaq people. Like just recently, I attended this event where that Hannah Jardine, a friend of mine, she conducted, wherein I was taught about how about the medicinal Indigenous practices, and I still have the video of it, and I could share it with people later so that they get to learn more about it. And like my plan is to have more events like these conducted so that people could get to learn more about the Indigenous culture. Thank you.
Thank you. Now my notes have the last question for Slate 4, but I think that's probably a typo because Slate 3 has not received a question yet, if I'm reading this, if I'm following along in my scorecard correctly. So this question will be for Slate 3. How do you plan to address housing issues for students within the CBRM? So that's Slate 3, Mohammed, and MD Kaiser.
I think for housing issues, students of CBU are not utilizing our on-campus residence. There are a lot of reasons because the rent is very high compared to off-campus residents. Their rent is very high compared to the off-campus residents, and there are some restriction in meal plan and something else. And I want to represent and address those problems to our university's administration so that they can realize and they make some changes so that people are encouraged to get the residents on campus. Like the rent should be less. The meal plan should be more customizable so that students are, getting more. They want to, on-campus residence. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to closing remarks, and we will begin with slate 4, Damanpreet and Peter.
Thank you. We would like to thank Cape University and the election committee and the moderator giving us the wonderful platform to engage in for and on behalf of students to our fellow candidates Avikal, Kalyan, Rahul, Kesar and Kafi. I would like to thank them for their passion and eagerness to work and advocate and to be a voice for the fellow students. On the behalf of Damanpreet and Peter Slate, I would like to thank everyone who is here today, both students, faculty member, and other staff of Cape University. To the campaign and promotion team of Damanpreet and Peter Slate, who have been working tirelessly to get our names out there, I would like to say a big thank you. And to my running mate Peter, you have always been passionate with regards to student voice and leadership. You have taken it upon yourself to run in this election with me. With the main interest of students at your heart, I would like to say thank you very much. Remember, voting is on Monday and Tuesday. Vote for a team that you will stand by, students and for students only. Leave sentiment aside and vote Daman and Peter to help build a better CBU. Thank you.
Thank you. Closing remarks from slate 1, Kalyan and Champanur.
Hi, sir. I would like to thank everybody who is engaged on the CRO, to all the ground workers and all the fellow team members and the campaign workers and my friends here, Rahul, Avikal, Mohammed, Peter, everyone, Damanpreet. And I would like to stress on one thing. If you are a student watching this, I would like to tell one thing. If you want a good transport, if you want to have a good low rate of accommodation, if you want to have a de-addiction professional at our university, and if you want to have big companies here in CBU for in-campus recruitment, and if you want to have a affordable fees at CBU, vote for us. Like, we all have the correct solutions and we all are engaged in it, and we will make it what we say, like what we said. So our manifesto is clear and crystal, and we will abide by that, and we will enact this and we will implement this after we get power as soon as possible. And once again, I thank you all and my fellow teammate Champanu Sakare Sachin for helping me all these days, and I thank you all for everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Closing remarks now from slate 2, Avikal and Rahul.
In my closing remark, I would like to thank each and every person whosoever is present here and attending this meeting. I will not stress this, and then what I want to say is that we will stand for the student body to the extreme extent. And now I just want to say, please vote wisely and just see who you're voting, and if the person has the right skill set and the right way to move and ahead and stand for you people. Thank you.
Could I add something?
If there's still time, I think you may have a little bit of time.
I would like to thank everyone who's here and taking out time from their lives to watch this debate. I'd like to thank every other candidate who's been a part of these exciting elections. I would like to stress on what Avi said, think before you vote. It's not just about what your agenda is, but how you plan to implement your agenda. And to implement your agenda, you need certain networking skills, you need certain professional skills. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, closing remarks from Slate 3, Mohammed and MD Kaiser.
I would like to thank you, all of you, and student union and CBU students for giving me the nomination. And I feel privileged to share my views and thoughts. What I want to say is please vote the right candidate, choose the right candidate so that you can be proud of him. And because this is the position where we can share our views to our administration. So choose the right person who can come up with more approachable ideas and who has a better roadmap and plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all our closing remarks. I'd like to thank once again all candidates for their thoughtful, informative, and very civil contributions to the debate. Thank you for allowing me to be your moderator tonight, and I'll turn it back over now to the CRO.
Thanks so much, Todd. So I just want to say thank you, everyone, for, like Todd said, keeping this debate very civil. I want to thank everyone for attending as well, and a special thank you to Todd for moderating. We really appreciate your help with this. I would also like to thank all the candidates for your work that you put in throughout this campaign and your participation in the debate today. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about how voting is going to go. So it will begin on midnight on March 21st, and it will close just before midnight on March 22nd. We will be using the Simply Voting platform, which was the same as the last election. It's done virtually, and an email with the information for voting will be sent directly to your CBU email address. So keep an eye out for that, and make sure on the 21st and 22nd everybody's paying attention so everybody gets their vote in. I do also want to say to everyone listening, if you have any questions or concerns throughout the rest of the campaigning process and the rest of the election process, please do not hesitate to email me at su_cro@cbu.ca with any question or concern that you may have. And I think that's everyone. Thanks again, everyone, that's everything. Thanks again, everyone, for coming to the debate today. And thank you for your contributions to this election. So have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.